I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Look, I know you see all the videos that I do where I talk about how unhinged and deranged Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are, but I really want to show you this video of how intelligent and normal President Biden is. And I want to show you this press conference that President Biden did because, look, his messaging is spot on and his policies are working. So, look, I want to show you this clip of President Biden at a press conference that he just held where he's saying, look, I showed the budget that I want to propose. I showed my budget, and my budget will cut the deficit by $3 trillion and makes sure that we are fighting for working class and middle class Americans. That is where our priorities are. The MAGA Republicans, they haven't even submitted to me their budget. So they're out there criticizing my plan. Show me your budget. And now they're saying their budget's going to be done sometime, maybe April, maybe May, maybe June. Where's the budget? If you want to argue with my plan, show me your plan. Here, play this clip from President Biden.
I'm prepared. I told the speaker, as soon as he's ready to lay out his budget, I'm willing to sit down. And now I'm hearing things like, well, we're not going to have our budget till April or May, maybe even June. All this talk pushing me to get my budget done. I said I'd have it done by the 9th. I had it done by the 9th. I handed it to you guys. I handed it to them. Why all of a sudden can't they get it done in March or maybe even April or maybe even May? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't sound like they're on the level yet. So,
and here's President Biden in the same press conference saying, look, because of our economic plan, unemployment has been below 4%. Play this clip.
I think we got a good jobs report. I'm happy to report that our economy has created over 300,000 new jobs last month. And that's on top of 500,000 jobs we added the month before. All told, we've created more than 12,000 jobs since I took office. Nearly 8,000 of the manufacturing jobs. That means overall, we've created more jobs in 2 years than any administration has created in the first 4 years. And I think all this matters. It's no accident. It means our economic plan is working. And when I took office, the recovery and the economy there was no recovery and the economy was reeling. And 18 million people were unemployed on unemployment insurance compared to less than 2 million today. Unemployment was 6.3%, and nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office predicted it wouldn't get below 4% until 2026. Because of our economic plan, unemployment has been below 4% for 14 straight months since January 2022.
Oh, this is great, where President Biden says, really? So are you saying that the policies of Ronald Reagan, MAGA Republicans, are super woke or a wacko liberal guy? Is that who Ronald Reagan was? Because let's face it, a 28% tax rate is what Reagan proposed. Play this brilliant clip.
When we talked about 28% tax rate, Ronald Reagan was 28% tax rate. You know, that wacko liberal guy, you know? The idea that that's an unreasonable amount, but I'll get into that later. Anyway, it continues to lower costs for families. Building on the work we've already done to lower cost of insulin and other prescription drugs to make health insurance more affordable. It brings down home energy costs, bills for home energy costs. And our plan is a stark contrast to the MAGA Republican plan in Congress, where they're doubling down on the same failed policies of the past.
Here's President Biden on just even trying to negotiate with these MAGA Republicans. Play this clip.
If they're going to, in fact, no additional taxes on the wealthy, matter of fact, reducing taxes. And in addition to that, on top of that, they're going to say we have to cut 25% of every program across the board. I don't know what there's much to negotiate on.
Here's a clip a little bit later from President Biden's White House budget director, Shalanda Young. Play this clip.
Follow up. I mean, the thinking is that Social Security only has about 12 more years of solvency left. This seems like a good opportunity, isn't it, with divided government, for the president to make a proposal, hope for a compromise? He doesn't seem to be interested in doing that.
Well, you assume the debate is from cutting no benefits and moving forward. We're trying to protect the benefits that are there now. I wish we were at the point of the debate where we could sit down and come up with proposals to extend. Unfortunately, it is clear that some people want to go backwards. We're saying this president, which he has said over and over, will not accept benefit cuts in the Social Security program. So you're assuming all players are starting from the same place. They're not. And so this president's been very clear. His position is we will protect Social Security.
But the president is not making a proposal here to extend the solvency of Social Security. He's proposing not to accept any benefit cuts, but the Republican leaders say they're not proposing benefit cuts.
Who are you going to listen to? You going to listen to the Freedom Caucus, who put out something different than what other people have been saying? What we've said is Mondays, one thing is said. Tuesday, another thing said. We'll know if that is an ironclad commitment. We hope it is. But until we see a plan, excuse us for wanting to see it in black and white and see that it's supported by the majority of the conference.
And of course, a brilliant clip from White House Press Secretary. Play this clip.
Can you respond to Governor Ron DeSantis in Iowa today, who said Florida is where woke goes to die?
So here's what I have to say. When Republicans, extreme Republicans, these MAGA Republicans, don't agree with an issue or with policy, they don't bring forth something that's going to either have a good faith conversation. They go to this conversation of woke. But that is not actually policy. That what that turns into is hate. What it turns into is despicable policy. And it's just not the way we're going to move forward. This is not protecting freedoms. This is not having a good faith conversation on how we can move the country forward. This is about we're talking about attacking young kids and their parents because of how they view themselves, because of how they see themselves, because of how they want to live. Kids and their parents. What does that have to do with anything about being woke? That is just hate, and it is shameful. It is shameful, and we're going to call it out. And like I said, the president is going to continue to say we have the back of that community or any vulnerable community.
And by the way, the question that was asked was, can you respond to Ron DeSantis saying that Florida is where woke goes to die? What a ridiculous question, though, to even ask. What a ridiculous thing for DeSantis to even say. And speaking of ridiculous questions, here's a reporter saying, do you have any response for him saying that we were right and they were wrong? Like they were wrong. Like the MAGA Republicans are trying to act like COVID wasn't a real thing. That's what they were right about. See, when we spread these conspiracy theories about COVID, we were right, is what the MAGA Republicans are saying. And here, what a brilliant answer we get. Play this clip.
Your response to him saying we were right and they were wrong. Obviously, Florida, one of the states that lifted COVID restrictions on the earlier side.
So let me just remind you all, and you guys wrote about this very early on in the administration, when this president walked in to this administration, thousands of people were dying of COVID. The last administration did not put forward a comprehensive plan on how we were going to deal with COVID, on how we were going to have shots in arms. This president, along with Democrats in Congress, passed the American Rescue Plan, which actually helped turn the economy back on because the economy was tanking, grow the economy so that we didn't leave anybody behind, got people shots in arms, made sure that vaccines were available for free to the American people, making sure that more than 200 million people got vaccines, became fully vaccinated. That's what this president did. This is how he moved forward to make sure that you guys are sitting here, we're standing here, and we're able to sit next to each other. Most of us, majority of us don't have masks on. Many of us are able to, who have kids, our kids are back at school. When we came into this administration, schools were closed. Small businesses were shutting down. So, we just talked about the budget, the president's budget plan, about his values, what he sees the value for the American people. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about how we're going to deliver for the American people.
And so, look, I know I play a lot of video clips that show, again, we expose the MAGA Republicans, rightfully so. We also need to compare to normalcy, to decency, to humanity. embodied in the Biden administration. Do I love everything the Biden administration does? No. Do I disagree a lot with some of the things that Democrats in the Biden administration does? Sure. But do I believe that the pro-democracy community that's currently embodied only in one major political party, the Democrats, is at least the only political party that is actually acting like adults? And while MAGA Republicans talk about woke and potato head and pronouns and genitals and bathrooms and all this stuff that is not in anywhere near the top of my mind, I'm talking about jobs and treating people equally and with decency, and I'm talking about better working conditions, and we're talking about making prescription drug prices lower and making healthcare affordable and accessible. I'm talking about protecting our veterans and protecting our troops. We're talking about allowing women to control their own bodies. We're talking about things that are existential to people's lives. As MAGA Republicans talk about Dr. Seuss and Disney characters or whatever their outrage machine is telling them to get mad at each and every day. So I'm glad I could show you that video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Ben Meiselas. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers. Thanks to your awesome support. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.